Hi, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Carolyn, with Carolyn's Corner Live. I am so glad y'all are here tonight because we've got a great show planned for you this evening. Folks, but before we start, I need you to do a few things for me. Please go like, comment, and share. Like, comment, and share. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Folks, did you know the more you share, the more people we can reach? The more people we reach, the more amazing audience we're going to have for our very talented people. These people are coming on, sharing their passions with us. And I want to get as many folks as we can to join in and cheer them on because they deserve it. We've got so many talented people. We're featuring singers and songwriters and authors. And very soon we are sure to include, who knows, magicians, painters, sculptors, comedians. You just never know who you're going to see on Carolyn's Corner. Pretty much anyone with a passion about what they're doing. Because so many of us are kept in the shadows and we never get to show anyone what we're passionate about. Well, here's a place where you can do that. What are you passionate about? Who knows? You may be our next guest. And folks, I made a little video right after this. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, every week there's some little kink we've got to work out. Welcome to Carolyn's Corner Live. I am so glad you joined us tonight. Remember to remind me, turn on your camera, Carolyn. I am so glad y'all joined us tonight. We are going to have a great night tonight. We got some wonderful guests tonight, so many talented people that are joining us in this venture that we are on. Adventure. Yes, venture, adventure, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's a little bit of both. It's an adventure because you never know who's going to be on here. So my name is Carolyn. I'm your host for Carolyn's Corner Live. And again, I'm thrilled that you joined us tonight. And without too much, I don't want you to have to wait very long. Let's get right to it. I want to bring on an amazing guy, a great friend, and my wonderful co-host. He's the co-host with the most. Please welcome Mr. Paul Gallagher.
Hola!
Hola! Hey, Paul, welcome. So good to see you. Paul,
Yes,
you got to remind me to turn my camera on. It was on, then it just just turned off.
That's what I was like, what happened?
I don't know. It's working now. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. So, Paul, welcome. I'm so glad you're with us tonight. I'm excited about tonight. I'm going to tell them all about it in just a moment. So as y'all know, for those of you who have been watching, we have another wonderful gentleman that's been helping us. And without him, it just wouldn't be the same. He is our, what did we call him? Consultant.
A consultant.
He's also a singer, a songwriter, and a poet, among so many other things. Basically, I think he's the one that tries to keep us in line. Poor guy. He's got his work cut out for him.
Oh, my Lord. Does he have his work cut out for him? I think he's already like, I cannot believe.
Yeah, he's probably like, that's enough of this. That's enough of this. Let me bring this great guy on the screen so you can say hi to him. Please welcome Mr. Jerry Bradley. Hey, Jerry.
Hey, guys.
There he is, everybody.
It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you. How are you doing tonight, Jerry?
I am doing okay. My 5-year-old and I, we had a grand and wonderful day. My 5-year-old granddaughter.
That's
we
so
had
awesome.
Yeah.
That is so awesome that you have a 5-year-old granddaughter and I have a 5-year-old grandson. They're the best. They are the best, especially when you're grandparents.
And if we could siphon just a little of that energy.
Oh, yes, my Lord.
I just want a thimbleful. I'd be pretty happy. I would be pretty happy. So, guys, I don't know about you guys, but I am super excited about tonight's show. I'm excited every single week because every single week we have more and more talent coming on our show. And I'm just thrilled that they've chosen to be here and accepted our invitation to be here on Carolyn's Corner Live. Tonight is no exception. We have a young lady all the way from, and let me make sure I say the city right because I'm always mispronouncing things. She is from Oildale, California. And I want to ask her about that. I'm guessing maybe because they struck it rich in oil. Who knows? There's no telling what happened. But our special musical guest tonight is H Nicole Anderson. So, guys, what do you say? Let's bring her on and get this show on the road.
A round of applause.
Yay!
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, oh, by the way, before we bring her on, remember you can comment in the comment section and we can see what you're typing. So I see everybody saying hi to Paul and to Jerry. Good to see you all. Thank you so much. Our loyal viewers and amazing people out there. We just love you to death. Thank you for helping us and always being there for us. Honestly, we mean that. So, folks, this young lady, like I said, is from Oildale, California. Let's go ahead and bring her on and let her meet you all. Her name is H Nicole Anderson. Here she comes. Hi, Nicole.
Hey. So,
Hi.
I heard you're going to have some talented people on tonight.
Yes. I hate to put you on the spot.
Oh, is that me?
I think so. No pressure,
Oh,
Nicole. No pressure. You don't have to be don't be too talented. If you're too talented, we won't know how to act. Welcome to Carolyn's Corner Live, Nicole. I'm so glad you're here. You look beautiful tonight.
Thank you. Well, the yellow and the blue.
It's perfect.
Well, I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but we know what those colors are, don't we?
No, I can't think right offhand. I've been taking too many pain. What is it, Jerry?
Watch the news. Come on.
Watch the news.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Again, I've been,
I want to thank Carolyn, though, because the last week, 2 weeks ago, I was feeling really bad. And I said, I got to get some, new videos. I got some. So the last 4 or 5 days with all this stuff going on in Ukraine, it kept me totally away from that and got my mind off of it. Because I'm the type of person, I just get consumed with that stuff. And
absolutely.
It's a horrible thing.
It sure is. As do a lot of us.
I've learned to take myself out of that situation and not watch the news because, oh my goodness, you just get so depressed from just watching everything that's going on.
So,
absolutely.
And that's why we do this show.
Just pray. Yes, we want to shed a little bit of light in a sometimes otherwise dark world. So if we can bring a little bit of light into people's lives on an evening, on a regular Wednesday evening to make you smile, then we've done our job, right? Thumbs up, guys. So I love your background there. You're Hank Williams. That's awesome. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I was just going to tell them you did a few videos for us. And folks, when I say she did the videos, she completely redid the videos completely redid them. And I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled for y'all to hear these songs. So I'd like to let y'all give her a warm welcome. This is Nicole, H Nicole Anderson.
Harper Nicole Anderson, yeah.
Harper. So do you go by Harper or just Nicole? I forgot to ask you that.
I go by Nicole, but H Nicole is kind of like a literary name.
I got you. Okay, I love that. I just have one name. It's just Carolyn, plain old Carolyn. I need to give me a better name. I've been saying that for years. I've been called a few names, but nothing that I would care to repeat here. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll start calling you Mama C.
Mama C. Yeah. I feel like Mama C to everyone, that's really great. So, Nicole, everybody can see us, they can hear us, and they can comment in the comment section. So let me encourage everyone that's watching right now to make sure you say hello, show some love, because we're about to get started right away with your first song, Nicole. Because I don't want to waste any time. I want to get right to it because you work so hard on these. So the first song that the first video that you did is a song we've all been there, done that. It's the title of it is Cold Day in Hell. Why don't you tell the audience what inspired you to write that song?
So somebody wrote the first line on Musicians Unite group. The first line prompt was on a dusty country road in the middle of July. That was it.
Nice.
I just took the prompt and then I thought, suddenly I felt a chill. And then I just wrote the whole song. It took me about 2 years to finish the song and get it down.
Wow. That's a long time, but not for something that you're passionate about. It's really not. I mean, sometimes songs take forever to be born.
It's all in the rewriting. The people just think they're going to just do a stream of consciousness. And it's just really, you get an idea, you just have to keep working.
Yeah, and that's one of my flaws. I never want to rewrite, but I know that's the right thing to do. Rewrite is right. Rewrite. So, Nicole, I really love these videos that you've done for us. They're definitely unique, and you did them for us exclusively for Carolyn's Corner Live. And I just think they're really cool because they're completely different than anything we've seen so far. And I just know that I love them. I know our audience is really going to like them.
Okay.
So are you ready? They will, Nicole. So let's go ahead and guys, are y'all ready to hear the first song or see the first video? Cold Day in Hell.
Let's go for it.
Yes, we are. We are ready. So, Nicole, here is your first song. And, folks, we'll be right back after the video is over. Pay close attention. Pay close attention, not close. See, I got to learn how to talk better. We'll be right back. Here's Cold Day in Hell by H Nicole Anderson. Or, here we go.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Dusty country road in the middle of July. Suddenly I felt a chill. I stopped to wonder why. Then I recalled how you left me, but why you never tell. That the day that I stopped missing you will be a whole day in hell. A cold breeze blowing, campfires burning low. Last time you were here with me, but we are now no. And I wonder if you think of me or even wish me well. But the day that I start loving you will be a whole day in hell. Gonna be a cold day in hell. The day that I start loving you will be a whole day in hell. Januaries have come and gone, and now 2 more Julys. Every time I think of you, the tears well in my eyes. They say that time will heal our wounds, the pain will go away. But the day that I stop loving you will be a cold, cold day. Gonna be a cold, cold, cold day. Colder than your cold, cold heart, I love you through away. Now 10 years passed since you went away, but I can still remember it like it was yesterday. And I know you never think of me or even wish me well, but the day that I stop loving you will be a whole day in hell. Gonna be a cold day in hell. The day that I stop loving you will be a whole day in hell.
Good job. Good job, Harper Nicole Anderson. I want to call you Nicole. I want to call you Harper. I'm just going to call you, I don't know what. Just don't call you late to come sing with us. That was so great. What a great job.
That song it's funny because I listen. I know I'm not that old, but I listen to 60s and 70s. I listen to the oldies. For some reason, the oldies are stuck. And that song reminded me something straight out of like late 60s, early 70s type vibe.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. You're right, Paul. What about you, Jerry? What'd you think? It's pretty cool, right? I like the video.
It was really nice. And Nicole, don't cut Carolyn some slack. It took her 3 weeks to stop calling me Bradley.
It's true. It's true. It is so true. It is so true. Everybody needs name badges. They need to be really big so I can see them without my glasses. I think that should be a prerequisite. Yeah, that was a great song, Nicole. So I was looking over a little bit of your information, and I saw that you got, just real quickly, that you got a full scholarship to Cal Berkeley College. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow.
The #1 public university in the universe.
Wow, and you got in. Well, darn, I feel like we're in the presence of greatness then. Congratulations.
Well, it was so tough. I I got clean about in 2000. I can't lose track of the time. I got clean and sober. It's actually just in
Right.
2008,
Okay.
and I've been clean ever since. And
That's awesome.
I was placed on disability for bipolar, which was my underlining thing. You know, there's always
Right.
something underlining.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I self medicated all my life. So I was placed on disability, and I had enough money to live. And I'm like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life now? Oh, I had a sales job that was
Oh,
driving me crazy.
what were you selling?
Cable services with
Oh,
Comcast.
boy, I don't know if I'd like that. I've done a lot of
Oh
sales, but
my!
never cable.
It was a lot
Wow.
of it was a lot of fun actually. Except they kept trying to screw us out of our commissions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'll happen.
So anyway, that's a long story. But so I couldn't go back to that. There's no way because
Yeah.
that's one of the. So I said, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? And I said, well, let me go back to school. And I originally wanted to get a 2-year degree to become a to do therapy of some sort,
That's
but that didn't
awesome.
work out. But when I went back to school, I said, "Oh my God, you're so smart! I got straight A's and everything at City College, the
Wow.
community college." They said you should do this, you should do that. So they said, so I put in an application. Said you should transfer. So I put an application to Harvard and Yale. I got accepted everywhere except
Wow.
except for one place. But I didn't want to go off to Harvard or Yale or Stanford of all places. Oh God, no.
Yeah.
So they accepted me into Cal Berkeley, and then I actually I stayed in academia from 2009 to 2016. I had took like 90 credits
Wow.
at community college. And then I finally transferred. I took the maximum credits at Cal. And then finally in 2016, then I had housing paid for. It's unbelievable.
Oh, my gosh. And
So
look at you now.
I'm living
That's a,
in Berkeley, which is like, the rents now for a small like studio apartment like $2,500 a month.
oh, my
And
gosh.
I got a little studio apartment I'm living
I've heard
in.
that. Yeah. Oh, my
I
gosh.
got a little studio apartment I'm having in with the co-op for free.
Wow.
But
Well, then you
then
did the right thing. You took the
but then
right
it,
path there, girl.
right, yeah. But while I was going to school, I was actually saving up money. So when I graduated, I'm like, what am I going to do? I couldn't stay. So I bought a home in Bakersfield, which is Oildale, is like a suburb. And anyway, Bakersfield was built on discovering oil back at the turn of the 20th
Oh,
century.
okay. I was wondering when the oil was going to come into this.
So that was a big deal. And then, of course, it became a mecca with Merle. I with
Yes.
Merle Haggard. They used to have nightclubs here in the 60s, open 24 hours a day, illegally, of course.
Wow. Yeah, of course. Of course.
But
Wow,
it
that's
was,
exciting. You've led a very exciting life. So I want to get to the other song. I wish we had all
yeah.
night. I really do.
All right.
You
Like I
have
said, you should just shut me up.
no, it's okay. You have so many interesting things to share with us, and I understand. I am thrilled because you've had such an interesting, cool life. You really have. I mean, you've got to travel all over the place. You went to I mean, not many people can say that they've done the things that you've done. That's amazing. It really is, Nicole. But I want to get to your next song because I don't want us to run out of time and not be able to
Okay.
do your songs. So this
Okay.
next one, I see everybody coming on. Hi, guys and gals. Thanks so much for joining us. This next song that you have made the video for is called San Francisco Baby Blues. So tell us real quickly a little bit about that. What was the inspiration for writing that?
I cannot remember.
That's
It's
quite
one.
all right.
It's
That's
one of
quite
my
all right.
old. It's one of my old standards
Right.
and one of my best non-country songs. And it was one of my first truly fictional songs. I like
Okay.
With a lot of these young writers, they think, oh, they get inspired, they just write. But I said, you really have to really just sit down and work a song out. And
Absolutely. Because I'm bad about that too. I write songs usually about things that I've experienced. It's hard to write a song from a standpoint of complete fiction where you're just coming up with it out of the air. I agree. So I'm
but
excited to let everybody hear this.
but
Let's
it's
get
all
right to it.
okay.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, play it, play it, play
Yeah,
it.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Let's
So,
go. Let's
ladies and
go. Let's
gentlemen,
go.
without further ado, this one is San Francisco Baby Blues by Harper Nicole Anderson. Here we go. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen.
Do got the blues for my baby. Left me face down on the beach crying. Drunk and crazy, Lord, oh Lord, I got the San Francisco baby blues. Eyes as deep and blue as the ocean. What did you have to go and take a full notion to leave me here with my San Francisco baby blues? I got the San Francisco baby blues. My baby done left me with nothing but some sand in my shoes. 'Cause on a moonlit stroll along the San Francisco Bay, you told me that you loved me forever and a day, but now you're gone. Just sitting here watching the breakers go by. I got a good mind to jump off this bridge and die. I got nothing left to lose. I got the San Francisco baby blues. But I gotta find a way to quit just drinking into a sea of despair. I feel I'm sinking down deep in my shoes. I got the San Francisco baby blues. I got the San Francisco baby blues. My baby don't love me with nothing but some sand in my shoes. All I'm on this stroll along the San Francisco Bay. You told me that you love me forever and a day, but now you're gone. I got the San Francisco baby blues. Somebody done told me, Lord, I don't see right. They say they seen you in the arms of another girl last night. Don't tell me they true. San Francisco baby blues.
All right. Great job. Great job, Harper Nicole Anderson. That was beautiful. I loved it. I like the blues. I really do like the blues. And I can see why you're so tired. You have to travel everywhere to make these videos. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I love the work that you put into them. They're very, very cool. I like that a lot. Thank you so much for all your effort. They look really great. Thanks so much for letting us be the witnesses to those creations. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have another great song, and I'm super excited about this one, even more so. This is how I first met Ms. Nicole. She wrote a song called, make sure I got the name right. It is Ode to the Cosmic Cowboy. And it mentions Beeville, Texas in her song more than once. And I thought, well, we have to have her on our show if it mentions Beeville, because for those of you who don't know, we are located, our hub is in Beeville, Texas, our hub. You like that, guys?
Yeah.
It's just a really quick question about this song, because I know you said Beeville's mentioned. How do you know about Beeville being in California?
Thank you. Good point. I was going to ask that too.
I
Go
lived
ahead.
in Texas. Let me give you a little short story of the
Yes.
song. Okay, so anyway, I moved from Baltimore to Austin back in the cowboy days. So this song is kind of autobiographical. This is written about a cosmic cowboy who wanted to go to Lukenbach, and this was an answer song to the song Lukenbach, Texas. Had I put it out then, I thought, this could have been like a hit. But I lived in Texas for several years. I don't know, I lost track of time now. But I lived in Texas many years. I played in Austin. I had a band in Austin. I had a band in Dallas. And I was played professionally in all the beer joints. Man, Texas was the place to be in those years. So I actually made a living playing music for a long time. But fast forward to now, I do a weekly open mic with a bunch of LA songwriters, really top shelf people. They love my humorous songs, my parodies. So they challenged us. They said, well, play the first song next week, play the first song that you've ever written. And there's no way I could remember that. The only song that I could remember a verse and a chorus to was the song Cosmic Ode to Looking for Lukenbach was the original title. And it was the first song, the only song that I remember doing while I had my band in Austin that people really loved, to be honest, because that was one of my weak points. I just didn't have any good original material. So anyway, they challenged me, and I only had a verse and a chorus. I wrote like 3 or 4 more verses for them. And then I added a couple more verses for you and put even more of Beeville in it. So, anyway, so that's the whole story. So let's go.
Yeah, I'm ready. And I really love all the towns that you mentioned. You're going to see, folks. Make sure you pay attention closely to see if you hear your town mentioned in this song, okay? Here is Ode to Cosmic Cowboy. Here we go.
He was Cosmic Cowboy Yankee up from New Jersey way. Heard the song about Lukenbach, so he decided to go play. So he bought some boots and faded jeans and hopped into his car. Now you friendly folk out in Lukenbach, you gotta tell him where you are. Well, he can't seem to find Lukenbach, but he found Paris and Rome. And cut and shoot in Cleveland, but not the one in Ohio. Oatmeal, noodle, bacon, and turkey, though they don't serve breakfast there. And he found his way to Dallas, but never found that old state fair, because he's riding all over Texas, looking for Lukenbach. But he can't seem to find a road sign, so he don't know just where to stop. He's been up and down every country road, but he still ain't found it yet. His fate is sealed to ride these roads from Kerrville to Crockett. Very lucky drives compact car and gas wasn't too dear. Last I heard he was in Fredericksburg, so he was kind of near. But he took himself a wrong turn, wound up in El Paso. Will he ever make it to Lukenbach? Well, I guess we'll never know. Well, they caught a cold in Pflugerville, so he had to make a stop. But he made another wrong turn, wound up in Round Top. Then he caught Nasal Drip in Dripping Springs, but threw it in Beeville. Maybe he'll make it one day, but I don't think he ever will, because he's driving all over Texas, looking for Lukenbach. He can't seem to find a road sign, so he don't know just where to stop. He's been up and down every country road, but he still ain't found it yet. His fate is sealed to ride these roads from Beeville to Burnett. Well, he found himself in Bogota, but not Colombia, of course. And he made another wrong turn and wound up in the port. Just a couple miles from Gilly's Club, so he stopped to drink a beer. He asked, where the hell is Lukenbach?
Hey buddy, you ain't even near.
Then he found the town of Bigfoot, Thought he'd see the big fella there, but instead he's found a little old town, a little old small town square. But he needed to get some gas and stopped off in Mexico. But he made another wrong turn, almost wound up in Mexico. So he's still driving all over Texas, looking for a Luke bar. But he can't seem to find a road sign, so we don't know just where to stop. He's been up and down every country road, but he still ain't found it yet. His fate is sealed and ride each road from Beeville.
All right, great job. I love that. I love that. I think that is so cute. I really do. And I like the Bigfoot because Brett and I actually, my husband and I actually found the town of Bigfoot, Texas, and we stopped simply because we were like, "What is this?" And my mom was with us, I remember, before she passed, and she was like, "Well, what is it?" And it ended up being nothing, like it was just the guy's name. But I thought that was so funny. Isn't that pretty cool, Paul? All those different towns around that we've all been through, most of them, a lot of them.
I've traveled a lot of Texas, and I'd say I've been through most of them.
Yeah, and you can travel for days before you're even out of Texas. It takes forever to get out of Texas. Nicole, you did such a great job on that song. I really, really like it. Are you going to be releasing that soon, or do you plan on anything with that? Anything particular?
Well, I think I should release it.
Yes. I think that would be great. I think that would be great.
By the way, when I lived in, I think Beeville, when I did the song, when I was writing the new verses, I researched Texas towns,
Yes.
And then Beeville, because Beeville popped up. I said, that's a great name. That's it is. It's a great name. But I was thinking it was near Austin, but I was confusing with Bee Caves.
Yes, there's so many. There are so many. We are. How far are we from Austin, Paul? We're several hours.
2 hours.
2 hours at least, right? Maybe even
but
further.
the tab oatmeal noodle bacon and turkey. I mean, like
that was cute. I caught that. I caught that. Yeah, it was really quick. You got to really listen close. But I thought that was just really, really cute. I really liked it. I really did, Nicole. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your awesome songs with us. And make sure when you release that one or whichever ones, share them with Carolyn's Corner, and I'll be sure to pass them on for you and share them as well. Okay, I sure will. Man, we've had a great time having you here. I wish we had more time. We do have more guests to get to, but I've had a wonderful time having you on. I hope you've had fun, and I hope you'll keep tuning in for our future guests because yes, absolutely. Carolyn's Corner Live is just going to continue to grow with help from amazing people like you, amazing artists like you, and all of our wonderful friends. We're just going to keep growing and keep bringing on more and more talented people.
I have to close with this. You are, for someone that is not like, on NBC, like Johnny Carson, right? I don't know.
My role model is Jimmy Fallon. I keep saying we're going to do like Jimmy Fallon.
But you are so professional and so cordial and such a great interviewer. It just really is mind-boggling.
Thank you so much, Harper Nicole Anderson. I'm just going to call your whole name. That way I don't mess up. It's easier like that. Okay. So use that as a future reference, Paul and Jerry. We're just going to use the whole name anytime. That's Harper Nicole Anderson.
All right.
Thank you so much, beautiful. Guys, make sure you show some love to Nicole.
Yeah, and I think, Jerry, Nicole, what is the population of Beeville? Because that's about how many downloads she'll probably get.
Yeah, I hope so.
13,000.
Yeah, we have like 14,000. Wow. It's not tiny. It's not tiny, but it's not huge.
Just a curious question is, I don't think we ever put where we can download her music at. Like,
thank you, Paul. I got so excited about sharing the music. Do you want to address that, Nicole? Tell them where they can get your music.
Okay, I'm on all the major streaming platforms, and I could put Spotify and all that. Harper Nicole Anderson.
Okay.
Spotify.
Harper Nicole Anderson. You got it.
I listen to Spotify. I mean, when I'm driving, I listen to Spotify all the time.
So Plus, you Google my name, you can find all my stuff because it's a unique. I'm the only one for some reason.
That is really cool. I mean, do you know how many Carolyn's Corners there are? There's a lot. If I would have known that,
I just looked that up.
there's a lot of Carolyn's Corners. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm a little bit of everything rolled into one. I'm not of this. I'm not of that.
Yeah.
I'm just me.
Carolyn Corner.
I thought, oh, the apostrophe S will be unique. No one will think of that. Boy, was I wrong.
Maybe you should trademark it. Let's
Yes,
see if anybody
maybe so.
trademark it.
So future, a little bit of insight. If anybody decides to do a podcast, make sure you Google the name first.
Yes.
I did not. I was just like, oh, Carolyn's Corner. Well, because we do the radio show and it's Carolyn's Corner, so I said, we'll just be
Yes.
Carolyn's
Fine.
Corner live. Same thing. So, so it was a no-brainer, or was it? You know. So I was just trying to think of something that kind of I've read too much Dr. Seuss in my time, and I know Dr. Seuss Carolyn's Corner doesn't rhyme, but it kind of seems like it flows a little better. It's all Dr. Seuss's fault.
Everybody blames Dr. Seuss for everything.
I love Dr. Seuss. Are you kidding? But one of the first things I ever did in school in speech class was present a Dr. Seuss thing. And it's like now I can't quit rhyming. I start rhyming. It's like, oh my God, stop me. Somebody help me.
The Cat in the Hat.
The cat in the hat, he does not like turning eggs and ham. I don't know why. Why do we always feel like we need to talk in that kind of voice when we're talking about Dr. Seuss?
I don't know, because anytime
Well,
I
do
talk,
not
I
like them.
like to have that voice of authority.
Yes, exactly. And I would hit them with a boat and a boat. Golly. So hi to Billy Fleming. Hi to everyone who's viewing. Thanks so much for joining us. So Harper Nicole Anderson, thank you so much for joining us. We've had a
Thank
blast.
you very much for coming on.
Yes, we have another special
thank
guest
you.
coming up.
Okay.
I've got a couple of things I want to show you real quick. Nicole, thank you so much again. God bless you. Take care of yourself. Keep doing what you're doing. You're touching a lot of people out there, girl.
I love you, Carolyn. I love all of you.
Love you too,
God
baby.
bless
Thanks
you.
for joining us. Take care of yourself.
Take care, Nicole.
Bye.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, bye-bye. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. So we are back. Wasn't that great? That was so cool. So completely different than what we've had. I love this because we are going to get different, and I love different. You know what I mean? I love how she did her own videos. She made them just unique, and that's really cool. That's really, really cool. Speaking of unique, I want to show y'all some stuff real quick. Paul is married to an amazing woman. By the way, my chair is getting lower. I got to get a new chair. I keep getting lower and lower.
You know, it's
And
funny
yes-
is that you talk about the chair like that. I sat in a chair yesterday. I sat in a chair and I went to work, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden he goes bloop, and I'm looking around going, what was that? He goes bloop. And I'm
That's
like,
so funny. I know. I just keep
getting
getting
lower.
lower and lower and lower. Oh my God, it's so funny. I told Brett tomorrow or the next day we need to go get me a chair. I mean, I don't mind being low, but it looks kind of funny. It looks like I'm about 2 feet tall and y'all are like 8 feet tall. I'm like a little short person, which is nothing wrong with being a short person. I don't mean that. Thank you, Jerry. Yes, Paul,
and
get down on my
Carolyn,
level.
and Carolyn,
I'm
this is
the
the
only
advantage of having an adjustable camera.
Oh, see, mine's adjustable too, but if I try to move it, it's just gonna there.
Fall off.
But it won't stay. So I am technologically challenged. I get challenged at everything. Thank you, Jerry, for trying to come down to my level. I know it's very difficult.
I'm too
Oh
tall.
my
I
gosh.
can't do it.
Oh my gosh.
I'll be
I know.
sideways.
Paul's too tall. So I wanted to say, we have a great lady doing our merchandise for us, making our merchandise for us. And she happens to be Paul's wife, who is also the owner and operator of Crystal's Iced Cakery. I want to show y'all some of the wonderful merchandise that she just took pictures of. These are just a few of the items that you can get to help support Carolyn's Corner. Let me show them real quick, Paul. What do you think?
Get it, all right.
Get it done.
Get it,
Okay, let's see here. So let me go to the right spot here. As you know, I'm technologically challenged. All right. So I think I showed these last week. These are the cool freshies, and they smell delicious. I say cool. They're neat, as in cool. You know, like rad, like cool. They say Carolyn's Corner Live and be kind, because that's our motto. Be kind to everybody if you can. So there's days when it's hard, but try anyway. Those are the freshies. They come in different fragrances. I was going to say smells. Like they come in different smells and fragrances.
I was gonna say, I'm sure they taste awesome, and I'm like,
You go, yum, yum, yum. Don't eat them. Don't eat them. They're not for editable. They're not editable. Okay, and here is a picture that she did of some of our koozies that she made. You can't really tell, but some of them are shimmery letters. I think they're really, really cool. They're 2 for $10. Unless you want the shimmeries, they're $6 or 2 for $12. So they have Carolyn's Corner on one side, Be Kind, Beeville, Texas. And on the other side, they have our Carolyn's Fun Time Karaoke. Because for those of you who don't know, we also do a karaoke show. As a matter of fact,
I'm trying to figure out why there's oranges in the bottom, because you can't smell them.
I thought it was because they smell like oranges.
I
wanted to ask Crystal, but I don't want to make her mad. So
no, don't make her mad. No. I'll ask her.
Ask her. It was a beautiful decoration. I love it. So those are a couple of those items, and I got a few other things to show you real quick. She just sent these today. So these are a few of our t-shirts. I want you to see what we have available. If anybody's interested in any of these, just shoot me a message or message me. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot anything. So this is our karaoke and beer. That's why I'm here t-shirt. It has Carolyn's Fun Time Karaoke on one of the sleeves, goes around it. I love it. It's perfect for any karaoke show you may go to, or just to show our support. Even if you don't sing, you can get one of those. This one is, I love this one. It's just a simple flower and microphone design. I've got 2 of them already. Okay, I cheated because I'm like, I like them a lot. They're just a general shirt. They don't have any advertisement on them. They're just great to wear with any outfit.
That shirt reminds me of Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, it does kind of, don't it? And then I've never been to Hawaii. Have you been to Hawaii, Paul?
In the airport.
Oh, I never even been there. So
I was in the military. I traveled everywhere.
Yeah, I bet Jerry. Have you ever been to Hawaii?
Out of the airport. But I was there.
Yeah, Jerry's been to Hawaii. Let's show this other one. This one, wrong one. Sorry. I told you I'm not a professional at this. Let me find the other one. Hold on. Okay, here's another one. Hell yeah, I'm listening to Carolyn's Corner. I thought about adding hell yeah, we're watching and listening Carolyn's Corner. But if you're listening, you're watching too most times. So there you go. There's the front and the back. That's also representing our radio show, which we do on Monday night. And then last but not least, here is our We Can Change the World One Corner at a Time, Carolyn's Corner. Be Kind, Carolyn's Corner. We came up with that design because we just literally want to help support music, help support people, and spread love in any capacity that we can. Spread kindness and joy. So it's a great way to advertise and say, hey, I support them and I support spreading love and kindness. Who doesn't like spreading kindness? Oh, you don't, do you? No, I'm just joking. So if anybody wants any of those items, just let me know. We have them available in a wide variety of colors. We have more merchandise she's working on right now. We're getting the pictures too, and I will eventually be doing another video and try to make it look as professional as I can. Okay. So thanks guys so much. So much. And so I didn't get a chance to tell y'all, but we do have an author on here tonight. The original author that we had wasn't able to make it, but she's going to make it next week. Paul is in charge of our establishing our authors for the show. Wait a minute, our authors for the show. Every time I say authors, I put my pinky out. I don't know why. Maybe it's because every time I hear the word authors, I want to say it like that. Paul, are you an author? So the great news is we don't have an author tonight, but we do. Because Paul, not only is he a guest host, he is our author for tonight. And guess what? Right next to him is another author. Wait a minute, my pinky. Where'd my pinky go? Another author, Mr. Jerry, because Jerry is also an author. I'm surrounded by authors. Wait a minute. $1 billion. I don't know what that was anyway. So Paul is going to be our guest host tonight as well as our host. Wait a minute. Our guest tonight as well as our host. So Paul has written several books. And he is going to reveal tonight the title of his 3rd book in his Fairy Dome series. Let me put it, Fairy Dome. Did I say it wrong? I'm so sorry.
Dumb. Fairy dumb.
I didn't mean to call your fairies dumb. Did I say fairy dumb?
You said fairy dumb.
They're not dumb. They're very smart fairies.
Hey, Jerry, that is what you call a Freudian slip.
It just came out of my mouth. No, he's got some great books, honestly. That's funny, Paul. I really didn't mean to say that. Say it again, Fairy Dome.
No. Yes, Fairy Dumb. Dumb. Not dumb.
Well, you're saying dumb.
I know, but
it's like in Kingdom, it's Fairy Dumb.
There you go.
All right. All these darned English words are too hard for me to get. So let me show you the titles of just some of the books that Paul has available for you to go and purchase on Amazon.com. Wow, look at all those. He's got Sticky Snare, Sticky Mess, The Chooser. I can't see it. Paul, read the other titles. Read
Propeller Man.
Okay.
And Thump Thump.
And Thump Thump. Man, he's got some great books, y'all. And that's just the beginning of Paul's authorship. Do you call it an authorship?
Authorship. Like,
This is just the beginning of Paul's authorship. Very soon.
And there's many more in my head.
Many more in his brain. Right there. That's why he wears the hat, to keep it all in there. Because if he didn't, they would be escaping all of his ideas.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought, isn't it, Paul? You should write a book about that, about the ideas that escape your head. Great idea. You or Jerry, write a book about that right away. Chop, chop. Just get on that.
Yeah, okay.
We shall collaborate.
I'm all on it.
I've got the best idea. Just say, well, I was sitting there and I felt something tickling my ear. And I looked and one of my ideas was running away.
It just popped
See
out.
that?
It just
It
kept
just
going.
popped right out of your ear. So, Paul, by the way, we're very, very proud of you. We're very proud of Jerry. We're proud of you guys so much, because that's a big deal. For those that are here or even not here that may view this later, that have written a book, you know the importance of it and how amazing it is. Okay, first of all, I got to tell you what Billy just said. He said, fairies wear boots, and you got to believe me. Okay, so I believe you, Billy. I believe you. Do they wear rubber boots? What kind of boots? Cowboy boots?
No, they wear leaf boots.
Leaf boots. Interesting. So that's pretty cool. I like that, excuse me, Billy. Yeah, I believe that they wear boots. So Paul has written some great books around a series about fairies. Tell them about it just a little bit real quick, Paul.
Okay, so
hard for me to describe it.
Yeah, well, the Fairydom series basically is about a family going through loss. They a year before this book starts, they lost their mom. The children lost their mom, and the dad lost his wife. And then now and it picks up to where the grandmother just passed away and they're going to a funeral. That's where that's where the first book starts. And basically it's just about family, like family unity. How they come together, like the kids, the dad doesn't believe in fairies. Hillary, who's the little girl, believes in fairies, just kind of on the fence. He's like his dad. He's like, it's like, that's dad. You know, he doesn't believe. And then I'm accepting the fact that they don't exist. And then they have this idea of like, well, let's just go prove that they don't exist. And here's like, I'm going to go prove they do exist, you know?
Right.
And then they use the idea of gum, and they call it sticky snare, to go put under a flower to go find the fairies. And that's where the first book kind of takes you. And then they get kidnapped into the world of fairies. I'm revealing that because it's, you know, it's part of the story, because you have 3 books. So apparently they have to go to the land of fairy, to the fairy.
Yes.
So, and then the second book, which is Sticky Mess, kind of picks up where the first one left off. I mean, it literally just ends, and then the second one begins exactly where the first one ended.
That's cool. So there's not a big cliffhanger, or is there a big cliffhanger?
Well, I wouldn't say that one's like a big cliffhanger. It has an ending, and then it just jumps in. The second one just kind of jumps into it, because there's a few characters you don't know what happens to, what happens to them. So the second book kind of answers what happens to them, and then of course I put them in a very messy situation, hence the title, Mess.
Of course.
And they, you know, and they go their separate ways, and the dad's trying to figure out how to get the kids back. The kids are they don't know their dad's there, and they're trying to figure out stuff. And then they end up finding more information out about something, a very big deal. Okay. And then they go on their little mission to go figure this out. Wow. And the dad's trying to save him, so he goes on his little mission, and he flies through what's called the Lawn Fairy, the domain of the Lawn Fairies. Oh, so I have, and how this is set up basically is there's multiple factions of fairies, in my books, and of course,
did you say multiple factions?
Factions. Yes. So you have
there the Lawn Fairies again with that author talk.
Yes. But you have the lawn fairies, who are wingless fairies.
Oh.
Yeah, they're wingless fairies, basically because they're since the lawn, you know, gets cut, the lawn gets mowed, and they've lost their wings because they basically sort of become slaves to humans, even though the humans don't know that they're slaves to them.
Oh, I see. Very cool.
And that's the lawn fairies.
So they're like a go ahead. I'm not even gonna say, go ahead.
Yeah, and then you have the woodland fairies, who are actually in the woods. They're the ones who have the dragonfly-like wings.
Okay.
And then you have Flit, who has butterfly wings. The only fairy in the story that has butterfly wings is Flit.
Wow, cool.
And then we find out more information on why she has butterfly wings, who basically who she truly is or should be. And
Wow.
then also in the second book, I introduce another faction of into this world, which is I call them the gremlins. They're like house gremlins. And yeah, you find out a lot. I'm not going to reveal too much
Wow.
about them.
What an imagination you have. I love it.
Yeah, and
Y'all
then yeah, it is crazy. I mean, you can just go. I
Yeah.
just went nuts with this story.
Yeah,
And
because ladies and gentlemen, y'all, if for those of you who have not read any of Paul's books, and I haven't read the whole book because along with my foot, I had surgery on my foot. Now I'm doing better, thank God. But along with that, I got dry eyes, so I start reading them. He's gonna do an audio book very soon, hopefully, and I
yes,
cannot wait. I just cannot wait to just sit and just digest that because it's so good. The what we've read already is just so good and so compelling. Your writing is so descriptive. It's literally like you're there. I really like it. I didn't want to put the book down, but my eyes started burning. I was like, no.
yeah, my
Go
eyes
ahead,
do it
Paul.
now too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead, Paul.
so Carolyn's actually going to play the voice of Mrs. Winstock because
I'm excited.
she's ready to play that character.
I am.
And it's so funny is that the story has a bunch of twists and turns where you think it's going to go one way and then boop,
Yeah.
it just turns around and flips and it goes the other way. You're like, wait,
Right.
what just happened? And then so yeah, and then Brett's going to play Azeroth, which is a fairy advisor to the now queen.
Oh, he's gonna love that. He's gonna love that role.
Yeah,
It sounds like a role of
basically,
authority.
some of the name of the characters that I came up with, I just write stuff down. Like I have Lissel, Thilly, Azeroth, Tygira, Pasni, Flit, Tetherwilly, Jalali, Blore. So all these,
Wow.
yeah, Eigel. So all these, I just kind of created these characters' names and just kind of wrote them down. And it's funny because, and I'm gonna have to say this because there's two fairies in there. They're brother and sister. Their names are Lissel and Thilly. And this is how the naming works. And it's so weird how it worked out. So I named them like, oh yeah, Lissel sounds really cool. So I wrote Lissel down. And then I wrote Thilly down. I was like, oh, that's a really cool name. They're the brother, sister, and they fight, they argue,
Yeah, just like kids, yeah.
And then after I wrote their names down, like 10 years later, because I wrote this 20 years ago.
Wow.
So, like, I don't know, 15, 20 years, 15, 16, I don't know, something like that. 16 years later, I'm going back and I'm reading these names. And when I'm going to publish it, I'm reading the names and it hits me. And I did not do this on purpose. It just it was a happy coincidence, I guess.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you take Lissel and Thilly, right? You take the L off of Lissel and you put it on Thilly, and you take the TH off of Thilly and you put it on Lissel. You get thistle, which is a plant, and you get a lily, like Lissel. You take the L.
Wow.
I did not mean to do that, but it's Lissel and Thilly, and it's actually thistle and lily.
Wow, Paul, look at you.
It was a happy coincidence.
20 years ago. And folks,
20 years ago.
this is the thing that I want to point out. I've known Paul ever since we've lived here, almost over 15 years, I know for sure.
Yeah.
And he did not have these books when we first met him. He was a magician, a great magician too. He really was. He is a great magician, really funny. But he wasn't an author at that time. And I am so super proud of him that he has moved forward and finally did something with these books because they're really, really good. Your imagination is just incredible. And I know people all over the country are reading these and they're just biting at the bit, waiting for that third book.
Yes.
And I know you have a big surprise for us too. I'm going to wait whenever you're ready. Take your time.
Yeah, I do have. Okay, so the third book is going to take place right after the second book ends.
Okay.
And a lot of people, I have a few people ask. It was like,
so tell them, first of all, what the name of book one is and book two.
Book one is Sticky Snare.
Okay.
And book two is Sticky Mess.
Sticky Snare and Sticky Mess.
Right. And then I have the third title, which I'm getting ready to reveal here in a little bit. So everybody's ready.
So
We're going to do it a little bit. We're going to do it. Anyway, but, and the reason why I separate them is for the simple fact that the story was just way too long. It was 120,000 words, the whole story.
Oh my gosh.
And that's just
sounds like a lot of words.
It is. No, that's a lot of words because a normal novel is about 50,000. That's your normal average novel.
So you were double the size of a novel. Wow. More.
Yeah, I was a little over double. So when I went back and edited, I realized I'm going to separate these three because I don't see now you have those real thick books and
Yes.
I just didn't see how that would appease to people to read a. I mean, I do because I like Stephen King. I like the huge book.
Yes. But you also said you were trying to gear it also for young adults, and
Right,
young adults
exactly,
have a short attention span. So you want something that's going
exactly,
to grab them, keep them, and then okay, we're done, and then
and
grab them, keep them, and then we're done.
right,
Right?
and that's why I wanted
Great
to
job.
separate them. So, like the first book ended up being like 203 pages or something like that, 201, and then the second book is like 213. Well, the third book is at about 250.
Wow.
So
Well,
if I
it's
would
got
put
to be hard to wrap. I don't know if it's the last book in the series. Hopefully it's not, because
it,
to me, it would be so difficult to wrap it up because it would be like closing. I don't know. It'd be
I'm,
like the ending of a movie. You never want it to end, because you want
I'm
these
not going to be
characters to
done.
keep developing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think you would either.
yeah, and I have an idea for a fourth book, but it's not going to be part of. I mean, it's going to be part of the series, but it's going to be like a continuation with some of the characters.
Okay.
But this is like these three books are kind of like this is the main story, um, talking about where these people came from.
Yeah. And you could do a spinoff of that book. That's so
And
cool.
that's
I
basically
love
what I'm
that.
doing because there's a lot of characters in here that I want to continue, like Tether Willie. I love Tether Willie, but he has such a short,
Hi, Edgar.
short play. He has a short spot in the second book, and then in the third book, he has like another short spot. But he's one of those characters that I want to just take and just develop and just write.
Yes.
Where he came from, why is he there? What did he do afterwards? And it's just there's so much about that guy I want.
That is so cool.
Right about.
And the cool thing is you're in complete control of these characters. Like
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Do you
I
think I'm
have
in control? I'm not in
well,
control of these
like
characters.
you said, they kind of just, it writes itself. You don't know what's going to happen, which to me is
Right.
so crazy, but I can kind of see that because a lot of times, even with songs, Jerry, do you ever find that when you're writing a song, do you ever find that it just comes to you and it's kind of out of your control? It kind of just flows naturally and you don't really know what's going to happen, but it gets done and you're like, wow, that was a really good song.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I think we
Yeah,
asked this
never has
question
that.
last time on the
It's
show.
just me. It's just me. Hey,
He's
Edgar,
like,
good to see you.
you're a builder, right? Is that what you said? You're a builder.
No. It's
That's funny.
I grow, but like I said, I joke about the fact that I create with the right brain and we edit
Yeah.
with the left brain.
Yes.
There's always editing that needs
Oh,
to
yeah.
be. I am a person of too many words, especially when you get to songs. So when I
Yes.
first write the song, it's got a lot of that's and theys and whatever.
A lot of filler
You know,
words, and you
a
don't
lot
even
of
realize it.
ands, yeah, ands and buts.
Me too.
What is it? What's the old saying? If ands and butts were candy and nuts, I don't remember. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'd be really fat. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, look what happened to me.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's so cool. Yeah, that's true. And we do that as humans because we just a human beings. We write it. I do that too. Boy, do I ever. I use a lot of. I think I write it the way I hear it or the way I think it should be, and I'm like, oh, I need to edit that. Need to edit that. Need to. And our books are even. Gosh, they'd have to be even harder because you have so
They
many more
are.
words.
Books
Oh
are
my
hard
gosh.
to edit because
Yeah.
it's and especially when you're writing in a series like I am
Sean.
with these three, you have to keep book 2 in line with book 1. So everything you
Yes.
write in book 1, you have to make sure it lines up with book 2.
Yeah, because you don't want them to be going off. Although it's just like any show, you could make them do whatever adventure you want, but it's kind of got to line up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it has to line up. It has
process.
to keep with the story. And
Yes.
if you have your character doing something in one book and all of a sudden they're doing something else, like a different
Yeah.
characteristic in this
You're like,
book,
wait a minute, I thought he was climbing a tree. How's he? Yeah,
well, not just that. It's
whatever.
more,
Yeah,
you have to keep the personalities together. You have to keep there's so much that you have to do
it's
in
a lot
editing.
more.
And like with the
Wow.
third book now is I'm having to keep the third book in line with the second book and the first book. And as this book is really kicking my behind
Yeah,
because I'm having to edit a lot because I realized, oh, why did I do this? And then I have to go back and kind of rewrite with and get into the character's head and go like, okay, let's tweak this a little bit because yeah, you said this here, but you said something contradicting in the first book. So
Yeah.
you got
you got to go back. So you have to constantly be going back and forth. So Sean said, wife saying, yep, Paul. So I believe Sean's wife is an author as well, a writer as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw
Right.
that. And yeah, it's really good to see you, Sean. And tell your wife we said hello. We'd love for her to come on the show and share her I can't even talk, her amazing talent. I can't even talk. Well, in my defense, I had my surgery on Friday on my foot, and thank God it could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. I did a little implant on my toe. I know it's like it's your toe. Come on. But you know what? When you're a big wimp like I am, it hurts. It hurts really bad. There's something else I need to talk about before we leave. Do not let me forget. Another one of our amazing friends and viewers is having some issues too. So I want to give her a big shout out. But go ahead, Paul. Keep going.
So anyway, yeah. So I mean that's really the breakdown for that series. But also there was other books on there as well. Thump Thump, The Chooser, and Propeller Man. Propeller Man was something that came to me. It's about two kids in a trailer park. Because when I was growing up, my earliest memory, I was in a trailer park.
Yeah.
And there was a me and a friend of mine. Of course, I was like 4 or 5, and I don't remember this particularly, but I always hear stories about it. Do you remember the show V that was on V?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
With the aliens with the human skin, and they turn.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I had a V gun, little ray gun from V, and he had something else, and it was like this little play guns.
Yeah.
Well, we were walking in the trailer park, and a propeller plane came over, a little crop duster. It came over the trailer park, and we both were like, pow, 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 pretending to shoot it.
Cool.
So when we did that, the crop duster crashed. Yes.
Oh, for
True
real?
story. Yes. No, really. The crop duster crashed into the cornfield on the other side of the trailer park. And
oh my gosh, that must have traumatized you for life. You thought it was you that did that.
I don't remember this fully, because I was young. I was really young. But my parents tell me the story. I know the story from my friend who basically he remembered. He was older, and he remembered. And I write fantasy stories.
Yeah, and I am not Paul's wife. I'm trying to go above the words. I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all see the words like I do. No, I am not Paul's wife. I am Paul's friend. Crystal is his wife. Just clarifying.
No, he said Paul, wife's asking, what do you write?
Oh,
his wife is asking.
Never mind. There wasn't an S after Paul. I put my head above the words. Go ahead. Continue.
So the crop duster crashed, and that was basically the story.
Wow.
And I was walking out of my work one day, and I looked across at the cornfield, and I saw this crop duster in the sky. And all of a sudden, I was like, I had this idea.
It popped in your head.
It just popped in my head about these two kids walking in a trailer park and using their imagination to bring their imagination to real life.
Wow.
And
yeah.
And then the story just kind of went from there. But it's a little short story. It's about, I don't know, 30 pages, I think.
Oh, that's all. Wow. Maybe I could read that. Maybe I as well. I did read Thump Thump. And boy, that is an interesting story. It is a really interesting, it's weaving in and out of reality. It's very interesting. In fact, I read it out loud with my husband because I thought it was really cool. We kind of took our time and just read it to each other. And he was like, what? We were like, what? It's a really cool book. If you like mystery, tell him a little bit about Thump Thump real quick. Not a lot. You don't want to give it too much away, but.
Yeah. Thump Thump is really a story about, it's like science fiction mixed with thriller, mixed with horror, mixed with, it's like a different genres all.
Yeah, it is. It's a combination.
Really, it's basically about this couple who decides, they've been trying to get pregnant and they've tried different methods and they finally get pregnant. They go out, celebrate, and then he runs into this guy from the future, and he calls him Future Man. But he ends up running to this guy in the future, and the guy from the future wants him to kill his unborn child because the unborn child is born with a virus that's going to wipe out the world's population.
Wow. So
the story kind of just builds on this idea of a decision that the dad has to kind of make.
Right.
Is he going to do it? Is he not going to do it? And it's his turmoil that goes through and you can kind of get in his head, and it's a real crazy story.
It's dark and it's back and forth. You don't know what
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And I think it's interesting because it's talking, we don't ever get into controversy about the coronavirus, but it is about something that was no way even mentioned before when you wrote it. So
yeah, I wrote it like
a long
6 years ago, 4 or 5 years, I don't know, something like that.
A long time ago.
Yeah, way
So in addition to all these great books, Paul has a third book in the
the Fairydom series.
Fairydom series. I don't want to keep calling it dumb.
And here comes the title.
It's not. I'm getting ready to put it on the. I'm going to get ready to put it on the screen.
This is a preliminary cover. It's probably going to change, but this is a preliminary cover.
Now, this is a big reveal, folks, because he has not revealed the name of the third book. So for those of you waiting, Paul, I'm gonna let you say it, then I'll put it up on the screen. What is the
name,
title?
The title of the third book in the Fairy series is called Sticky Ties. And I know it doesn't make a lot of sense because of like sticky ties. I have pondered over this title for at least a year. I didn't know what I was going to call it. I didn't know if I was going to call it Sticky End, Sticky Conclusion. And then the other day I was in the
Y'all see
car.
that?
I was driving, and all of a sudden the title hit me, Sticky Ties.
I like it.
And I know it doesn't make sense because you're like, sticky ties. But believe me, you read the third book,
It's
the
gonna make sense.
title is genius. No.
I like that confidence, Paul. I love it. I love it.
Oh,
Sticky
it is. It's
Ties.
crazy.
Let me show it one more time. When will this book be available?
I'm hoping towards the middle of this year. That's what I'm shooting for.
Okay. So what y'all can do, let me put his website back up here. I did a little video, but then I changed my mind. I can put it up here, but
and this book series is a young adult fantasy series.
okay, let me take this off. Hold on, stand by just a second. Let me take that off.
Sounds like a sticky wicket to me.
Yeah, right? Okay, let me get back to where I was. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Put the right thing up here, Paul. You know, I'm such a professional when it comes to computers.
Oh,
Don't
I
even
know you're such a professional.
Hey,
How many times have I told somebody else to help you?
considering I've learned a lot, considering. Okay, let me find it. Okay, so
Mary,
I want
just
to
be
make
happy
sure.
to live in Beeville because she'll be calling you over every minute. Hey, can you help
I
me?
probably
come do this?
would.
Hey, can you help me come over and do this?
Yeah, so this is Paul's how you can find his books. You go to
Yes.
Paul Gallagher's books. Actually, you go to www.amazon.com/author/PRG books. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So make
And
sure
then you'll
y'all
see
write
a
that down. I'm
wonderful
going to leave it on the
picture of
screen.
my wonderful profile looking
Yes,
up.
let me show that picture because I
Yes.
thought it was such a good picture. I was looking today and I'm like, oh, what a great picture. Hold on. Let me go back to that.
Me and my scruffy beard. I need to shave. I'm still recovering from my hike.
I know. And we want to talk about that a little bit too.
Oh, that is
So there's his picture. I cut my microphone off. So we're glad, speaking of that, we are so glad that you made it back home safe and sound from your hike. It was really neat having you out on the trail during the show. And Jerry and I joked about it, kind of seriously, right? Jerry saying, and Brett and I talked about it. Maybe Paul can be our roving correspondent. What do you think, Paul? Well, you could just go experience different things and be adventurous. And while we sit here in the warmth and dry of our nice, warm, cozy houses. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you gonna give me a stipend for travel?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, sure. I'll just pull that right out of the budget.
No,
But it was really cool. It was really cool you coming on from out in the woods. I thought it was a really cool idea. I enjoyed it. Let me ask our audience, ladies and gentlemen, did y'all enjoy Paul? Oops.
What are you doing?
I tapped the button with my finger.
She's click happy.
Sorry. I wanted to know if everyone, our viewing audience, enjoyed Paul coming to us live from out in the woods last week. I thought it was really cool. What do you think, guys? You think we should continue that and do more on location? Sean says yes.
Yes.
I like it. Yes.
I don't know. It kind of bothered me last week. I mean,
Why is that, Jerry?
He went off to the bathroom, was never heard from again.
I know.
Like,
it was kind of scary, wasn't it, Jerry?
Yeah.
Sarah liked it.
Yeah. What's so funny about that was
good point, Jerry. We were like, where'd he go?
I was actually going to do the show from my car because I had good Wi-Fi signal in my car.
Yes.
And then I thought, well, let me just go try the hammock out. Now, mind you, it's like 20 degrees outside.
I know.
So I'm having to hike from my car back to my hammock. And then when I got in my hammock to do the show, the signal was doing great.
Yes.
And all of a sudden I started doing this whole and then I'm like, no. I'm like, Paul, you need to go to your car to finish the show. And I'm like, do I really want to get out of this warm hammock?
Yeah, because it was like 11 degrees, right? Or something like that. Really cold.
By that time it was 19 degrees. The wind chill was 11.
No. I would have stayed right where I was.
I was like, do I really want to get out of this warm hammock to go hike back to my car?
I'm so glad that you're here with us tonight and you didn't get sick, because my mom always told me that if you go out in the cold, you're going to get sick. But then I've heard that it's not true. It's a virus that causes the cold. But when I was a kid, I believed her.
Yeah,
Okay, I
no,
can't go out. I can't go out in the rain. Is that what you're saying, Mom?
yeah, but no, it was awesome. The experience, I know I'm not an outdoors guy. Everyone knows I am not an outdoors guy.
Yeah, but you are more now.
But I have to say that even though you're thinking about doing it, even if you get a temp, and they call them, I learned so much terminology out
I
there, and how
bet.
to, and they're called ground dwellers that live, the people in tents that sleep on the ground.
Oh,
They're called ground
really?
dwellers. I didn't know that.
Wow.
And
What about the people that take an AC camping with them?
that that's me too.
Me too, Paul. What are
And
we called? Wimps. The ground
it's called
wimps.
glamping.
Yeah, I'm glamper. I'm a glamper for sure.
Yeah, it's
As long as I
glamping.
have an
And then-
airbag. Go ahead, continue.
but no, anybody who actually thought about doing it, man, I suggest it, because let me tell you what, and I really want to tell you all this experience that I had. It was amazing. No animals. I heard weird noises in the woods, like the woods popping,
Yeah,
but also you got to imagine it's way below freezing.
yeah,
You have water inside tree limbs,
yeah.
and whenever it expands, it pops. Of course, you're gonna hear the pop. And when I say
That's so
pop,
crazy.
no, you expand that sound greatly when you're in the woods.
I bet. I
Of
bet.
course,
Were you like, what was that? What was that? What was that?
yeah. And I actually didn't, and I was told, and when you get out there, you're not gonna be able to sleep the first night, because you have to get used to all the noises, and it's because it's completely different in the woods.
Right.
So when I was out there, I really didn't experience that, because me being who I am, I believe in the paranormal. I believe in Bigfoot. I believe in all that. And I jokingly said, oh yeah. I jokingly was like,
Hey,
oh,
thanks
that's
a
a
lot,
Sasquatch.
Brett.
Yeah,
Brett's making comments for the peanut gallery there in the
yeah,
living room.
I see it. It's funny.
He's funny. Go ahead, Paul.
So basically is I jokingly made comments. That was a Sasquatch that made that noise, or oh look, the Sasquatch is coming to get us.
Yeah.
But I wasn't being serious, but we joked about it a lot.
Yeah.
And just three guys out there just having fun. I mean, just and I know 19 degrees, how can you have fun at 19 degrees?
Yeah.
You
But
walk,
I
you
bet
get
you
warmed
did.
up.
Well, I have a
And-
question, honestly, and be honest. I know you're not going to be honest because you don't want to be.
No, I'm
okay.
an open book.
Was there ever a time where you were actually afraid? Like
No.
you were like, for real? I would have been
real,
so
no.
scared. What is that noise? Of course, I'm a big wimp. You know that, Paul.
The only thing I was afraid of was pooping in the woods.
Remember, folks, he said that was his biggest thing.
That was my biggest fear. And I didn't have to poop in the woods. So
You did. You
mm-mm.
okay? We're
I
getting a
held
little bit
it.
TMI. I was gonna say. Well, with the weather like that, I think I would have been inclined to do the same thing.
Yeah, it was an experience, but I see. So the first two nights we stayed, we were in Alvern or something like that. It's north of Fort Worth, and that's why
Okay.
we're so cold. And it wasn't
Was it
supposed to be that cold.
Alvin, Texas?
Alvern,
Alvern.
not Alvin. It's Alvern.
Okay.
Alfred. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know.
so the cold front that came through, it wasn't supposed to stay. It was literally supposed to come in, blow out, and then we're supposed to get a little bit of rain, a little bit of it was supposed to be cold,
Yeah.
but the cold front sort of just stalled over us,
Yeah.
and then it got colder and colder, and we didn't get out there till 2:30 in the morning that first night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't you
so-
say that it was like foggy and it was almost like the fog was frozen? Isn't that what you
Yeah,
said?
yeah. It was that
Weird.
morning. It was that last morning that we decided, yeah, we can't do this another night, so we're gonna take off. And they were debating on where we're gonna go, so we decided to go from that city into the woods. We got in our cars. I stopped at Whataburger because I wanted a
I don't blame you.
I had a chance to get it. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, I would too.
And then we
I would
drove-
shoot. I would have so bad.
And then we drove from Fort Worth. We drove all the way down to Huntsville.
wow.
And then in Huntsville, we got in about I don't know. It was at night when we got there, and we were trying to find a spot. Now this experience right here. I gotta say, everybody has to go to Huntsville into the pine trees at night when the wind is blowing.
Oh, I bet it whistles like crazy.
Yes, they call it that whistles. It's whispering. They call it the whispering pines, and I've never heard of it before. And even if I would have heard it, I was just whatever. I got out of my car, and all you hear is shh, and just like a whispering sound. And I'm like,
Whoa.
I'm like, what is that noise? it was a relaxing noise. It wasn't scary. It was just like, wow, this is crazy. And you look up and you see the pine trees, just these pine trees are 50, 60 foot tall.
Yeah.
And with
Wow.
the wind's blowing through the needles, and Jim, Jim told, he was one of my buddies that went out there with us. He was like, yeah, it's called Whispering Pines. And that experience, just hearing that was worth the trip because it was just amazing. And especially at night. And so then from there, we hiked into the woods trying to find a good camping spot. We couldn't find one. We got back in our car, we drove up to another area, and then we hiked our hammocks up and stayed there for 2 nights.
Wow.
We hiked 15 miles, I want to say.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, while you were saying that, Nicole just posted Whispering Pines is a great title for a song, and that would make a really great song. You're right, Nicole.
Johnny. Oh yeah, Sean.
Was
Dickey
that what it
said
was?
Johnny Horton. I guess Johnny Horton wrote a song called Whispering Pines.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, I didn't see all that. I'm sorry.
I have to look that up.
It is a song. Okay, sorry
Yeah.
about that. Sorry about that. Yes, Jerry, I responded to your message. So, wow, that's exciting.
Yep.
That's really exciting. Go ahead, Jerry.
No, I've talked to her. Yeah, I think we can do this next Wednesday if you like.
Of course, anytime. I'm game whenever you are. Johnny Horton's song "Whispering Pines." Very cool, Sean. Thanks for sharing.
I'm gonna
it
have
with
to
us.
look that song up and see how
Yeah.
he describes the Whispering Pines, because man, I tell you what, that was an amazing, amazing experience. And just for everyone to know, I didn't fall down at all.
Yay!
I may have had a stumble and almost fell, but I didn't actually fall.
I'm proud of you. Did you use your hiking poles?
Yes. Oh my God.
Because I joked with you so much about those.
Yes. And it was funny is
poles.
I'm walking down the trail and you're supposed to use your trekking poles. And basically what I found out the trekking poles are for is really just to keep your hands moving and to keep your hands from dropping below your waist, because the blood kind of goes to your fingers and they'll start pulsating and they'll start hurting and all kinds of stuff. We'll go numb.
That's so cool.
So the trekking poles but what I was doing down the trail is I was like, dun, 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 dun. I was like making music with my poles.
You should have recorded if you could have. You should have done a video like when y'all were walking.
No, I do have a video of us walking the first night into the dark, into the woods.
Oh.
So I do have a video of that.
Sean said, "Whoop the Bigfoot's off of you."
Yeah. And one of the, we did have one creepy thing happen that was we still didn't, because there's rules of hiking. If you see it on the trail, if it doesn't belong to you, you leave it there. You don't touch it. It's because it's not yours.
Makes sense.
So we walked by this one area and we saw this hammock in a tree in the daytime. There's a hammock in the tree that's still there. And from what Charles told me, it was an expensive hammock.
Okay.
And no one was in it. No one was around. There didn't look like anybody was there. And of course, the rule is you don't go up there and you find out what it is.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's kind of strange. And I'm like, yeah. And it's by the water, So we decided, leave it alone. So we walked away. And we finished the hike at 5 miles. Then we turned around. No, 6 miles. Then we turned around. Then we started walking back the other way. And, of course, this hike is about, we spent 6 or 7 hours, 8 hours on the road. I can't remember. Exactly.
Yeah.
And, of course, we're hiking with a 36-pound backpack on. And then whenever we came back, the hammock was still there.
Wow.
And there's no one around. And we're like, well, what, it's like, I kept asking, it's like, well, what do we do? They said, we don't do anything because, it could be somebody's that could be hiking somewhere else and they'll come back to it. I'm like, it's kind of odd just to leave your hammock just kind of laying in a tree.
Yeah.
And of course, my author brain.
You started coming up with these scenarios, didn't
I
you?
started coming up with scenarios about how the guy wanted to commit suicide. He walked in the water. This is how my brain works. And he decided to go walk in the water and off himself. Or Bigfoot got him and drug him into the woods.
Yeah.
And used him as
Hold on just a second. Sean, I'm not sure what that YouTube is. You want to type in what that is, okay? It's a YouTube page. Let them know what that is for me. Go ahead, Paul. Keep going.
And that's actually youtube.com. I don't know why that .b is that right? I don't know. Anyway, that's the weird extension. But anyway, so after that, and then we went back and ate. I ate couscous. I was like couscous, but now I ate couscous, tuna, and we warmed up some water in this really neat Crystal got me a little oven. It's about this big.
Oh, a little oven. How
Yeah,
sweet.
it hooks on this little can, and you start
Yeah.
it, you click,
You
and the
had
fire comes up,
everything.
and it boils your water nice and
I'm
good.
super proud. I do love nature. I really do. I would love to go somewhere like that and just be able to, especially the big pine trees. But I'm such a chicken. Don't know if I'd want to be out there at night. But I love going out in the outdoors. I think it's beautiful. But I've just got so many
It's
issues right
not
now.
bad, and it's not bad. It wasn't
Yeah.
scary. Of course, I could have been because I was with two other guys, and
Maybe.
I don't know. And what I did find out about myself is that it's hard for me to do stuff like this with my family. And
Yeah.
I think the reason why is because I feel like I need to protect them. And
Yes.
I am not enjoying myself because I'm in constant protection mode
Yeah.
and worried about my kids and what they're going to do and if they're going to get lost or, all these things go through your head. That's an anxiety filled brain.
Well,
And
absolutely.
so I
Absolutely.
get to see how I'm going to react because Crystal went off and spent like $1,000 on hiking gear
Yeah.
for me, her, the two kids. So
Oh.
we are literally now going back to Hunts. She's already scheduled it. We're going to a camping in I don't know where it is, but we're going to go hiking and camping for a weekend somewhere in hammocks. The kids have their own hammocks.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Their own
That's going to be
trekking
fun.
poles.
Yeah. That's so cool. Actually, I'm glad. I would just be a nervous wreck because the kids are so young. That's the
And
only
that's
thing.
where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
And I told Crystal, I said I would never bring the kids into like a winter situation.
Yeah.
Like what I was in. I said, no. I said, we're going to camp with them like spring, fall, like early fall, not late fall, but early fall.
It's way too cold to have them
in
out in
summertime. I think it's too hot, but we'll see.
Wow.
But yeah, but Crystal got the bug now. She wants to go.
Of course. Well, because it's so cool.
Excited. You know why the kids are excited? Because they want to eat couscous. Jason loves couscous.
He does.
Yes, I made couscous because I got back from the hiking trip and went to my parents' house, and I pulled everything out and showed my parents, hey, this is what I ate. And I made it in front of them. This is how we make it and whatever. And my mom's like, why are you doing this? I'm like, because I want you to experience what I experienced, And
they're probably like, gross. We didn't volunteer to go hiking and camping.
And so after that, I had them try it. My mom's like, yeah, that's good. Yeah. I'm like, what?
Really? Wow.
I tried to get my dad to try it. Nah, he's like, I don't want to try that. Why? He's like, what'd he say? He goes, I'm not in a survival mode. I don't need to eat that.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's been times in his life, being in the military and all that, where he was in a survival mode, and
he's eating all kinds. The stuff that he's told me he's eating, I'm like, oh.
Right. So, Paul, I want to interrupt you for a minute because I want to make sure and get these things in. So, folks, we have a really dear friend and one of our awesome supporters. I don't know if she's on here tonight, but her name is Miss Tambourine K, or Tammy K, Tammy Campos. She messaged me this evening and she's feeling kind of down. So I shared a post that she put because she had surgery the same day I did on Friday. But her surgery was back surgery, and it's a very serious surgery. I had no idea that it was that serious. So I just wanted to remind you guys, I posted this on Facebook. Of course, you're under no obligation. I don't know if you can see it, but it's Tambourine's $5 bling. I want to encourage you all, if there's a way that you can go on there and help support her by purchasing any of her jewelry, because she's not able to do her Facebook Lives that she normally does, to help her business thrive. And she said she's losing customers. She didn't ask for our help, but if there's something that we can do to help, let's do it, because that's, after all, what we're here for.
Yeah. And I think you need to leave that advertisement up for the rest of the show, don't you?
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. That's funny.
I'll just peek around the side.
Hi, Jerry. I see you.
Hi, Jerry.
So, that's funny, Jerry.
You can't get rid of me that easy.
Tambourine's $5 bling. If y'all get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, these pieces are only $5 each. She's got rings, bracelets, necklaces, all kinds of beautiful things. She really does. Go check it out, please, on Facebook. Okay, please support her if you can, if it's at all possible. Because she needs our help, and that's what we're here for. We want to help each other. Paul, Jerry, that is so funny. So I posted another thing on Facebook that I think is pretty awesome. Our dear friend Jerry, who hasn't got to say much tonight. I'm sorry, Jerry.
Sorry.
As you may or may not know, he did a wonderful book of poetry called 2 Steps Forward and 1 Step Back, or is it backwards? I always get it backwards. I'm sorry, Jerry. That's right. For our veterans. And I've got to read several of them. So did my husband, and they're just incredible. They really, really are, Jerry. You've just so great. Um, but I was just blown away because he shared with me a video from a young lady. Why don't you
Oh
tell, you
yeah.
want to tell the story of that real quick? So
Yeah.
she, no, you don't want to? He doesn't want to toot his own horn, but I'm going to because I'm very proud of it. So this is what, 5 years ago, she had posted a video on Facebook. And I happened to see it, maybe not 5 years. I don't know how long ago it was, months and months ago that I saw it, way before we started doing this show. And it's hard to portray my mindset when I see something like this, where I see God at work in our lives. And I'm like, wow, God just, he lined things up, and honestly, he did. So she posted a video. She wasn't even talking in the video. It was about her, unfortunately, losing her military spouse to
Yeah.
suicide, who suffered from severe PTSD.
Wow.
And it was so sad. It really was sad. And it made me cry at the time. And it's weird. I happened to come upon it, and watch it. I think, Paul, that it might have been when we were doing our military spouse. I mean, our mental health awareness for veterans, I believe, and our other
Yeah.
show. So it's kind of weird. And I had seen it and I thought it made me cry. It really did. I showed it to Brett and he's like, wow. And so anyway, he posted another video where she had shared with Jerry, I believe. And she was reading one of Jerry's poems on Facebook. And she said that she was going to read one of his poems every day if it was okay with the author. And because he was really helping these veterans. And I just thought, wow, isn't that amazing? So not only did he do such an amazing thing, and he's not going to pat himself on the back, but I'm going to pat him on the back, because he told me that, he was selling the books for a while until he ran out of copies. And it's a book of poetry, really great poems, really touching. But if there was a veteran or a veteran's family member that came up, that he would give them the book. So you didn't have to do that. But the fact that you did that, I know that those books have helped a lot of people, because she then read one of your poems. And I just thought, I don't know, I'm at the point in my life where I look for things to happen. I look for God's blessing. And to me, that was a blessing. That was an indication that all three of us, how you're here with us, I don't know, but I'm very blessed that you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, she's really wonderful. It's Stephanie Mason Limbo, uh, and she's kept her name. She was in Texas. It would be funny if you found out that she used to live right beside you.
That
Uh,
you never know.
but she's done a lot of stuff with, gosh, let me think of his name, Gary
Okay.
Neese or Neese. He is the actor from Forrest Gump.
Well,
He
Gary
was,
Sinise.
yes, and yeah,
Oh,
there you
okay.
go. And he was Lieutenant Dan in
Yes.
the
Okay.
movie.
Okay.
Well,
Oh,
he's got his own band and he travels. As a matter of fact, he's been at Fort Bragg a few times, and he does a lot of shows.
Yes.
For the military, does a lot of fundraising for different organizations for the military, and she has been with him on several occasions
Wow.
talking about suicide awareness, and she did that. I don't know when she did the film. I can't remember, but I mean, it was years ago.
wow.
And it's like I don't know how many views it's had,
A
but right
lot.
away it was like 44,000 right out of
Yeah.
the box. So, and yeah, I was really honored that she asked if she could read, and she
Yes.
did it for like a month straight.
That's
Where
amazing.
she was reading.
I think that's amazing. It just goes to show you, now, not that you are not influential, because I absolutely believe that you are, but it just, more than anything, it shows you what one act of kindness and one thing, one passion how it can ripple out and affect everyone around you. So your
Yes.
book of poetry, it affected you. You wrote it to help others. It in turn helped her, and she in turn read it to others and helped others. And you're helping veterans all over the world. And I am proud to say that you're on our show. I really am. And I am blessed beyond belief that God sent you here. It's just cool. I told my husband, I said, I don't know why, but I can't help but just think, okay, we're on the right path. We're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Because we keep spreading this joy and love in any way we can. Because there are, yes, Neong, she says she loves soldiers, appreciate their work to protect us. Absolutely. There's a lot of people suffering out there. And the fact that you're here, and anytime you want to shed light on that topic, anytime you let me know, we will make a whole little segment for you, Jerry, maybe next week or anytime. You're welcome to read any of your poetry, because they're really great poems.
Well, I have a few questions for Jerry, because this topic kind of interests me, because I was a veteran as well.
Yes.
When you wrote the poetry, was that for That was for yourself, right? Like a healing process for yourself.
It's kind of a long story.
Yeah, because I remember you talking about it before.
Yeah,
And
you
I
know,
just wasn't sure if you actually wrote it just like for yourself, like
it
to help you heal.
most of the poems that are in this book, if you want me to be honest about it, which I'm going to, but most of the poems that was in this book, I've done two books.
Oh,
The first one was I wrote with my daughter, and it was more of a, well, I don't know what to call it, more of a uplifting military family kind of thing. Matter of fact, my wife had us write it because it was, she uh, had a business and she sold it through there, and a lot of fluffy poems, you know,
right. Okay.
uh, but it was fun. But in writing this one, the poems were a lot darker. Uh, and what I try to do is after I wrote the poems, a lot of times I'd go back to them. We talk about the editing, and I'd always try to put a positive spin on it, toward the end or somewhere in there. Because some of them, when they first came out, was really dark. Without getting into a lot of history, I was also pretty stoned when I wrote most of those on the initial take, because
Right.
I was taking Percocet, Valium, I was on morphine drips, I was, I had, yeah, uh,
Because of your injuries. Yeah, you were on a lot of
yeah,
medications, weren't you?
I was. So
Wow.
sometimes I look at that and go, "Oh my gosh, how did I ever write that poem?" Because man, I was wasted,
Yeah.
and but a lot of them really just kind of, yeah, it was a dark place, and it was a way to kind of get it off your chest and express it, and uh, you know, and I never shared it with anybody, but I had a friend that really kind of put the whole guilt trip on me.
Huh.
Uh, and being
Friends do
that,
that a lot of times.
yeah, yeah. And she says, if your poetry could help even one person, why wouldn't you share it?
Amen.
Because,
Absolutely.
yeah, there's not a lot of people that's going to say, oh, yeah, I like poetry and I write poetry. And, we get kind of wrapped around the axle of thinking poetry is kind of a, sissy thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when you're in the military and you're in charge of security forces and you're writing poetry.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but poetry is one of those things where it's. I see where you're coming from, and I wish people you get that stigma.
Yeah.
And poetry just isn't about that. What I've noticed is a lot of it is just like it's a healing process for people. Some of it is. Some of it is, hey, I'm gonna have fun. I'm just gonna write some rhyming words and go for it.
Yeah.
I just got your book, Jerry. I'm gonna read it.
well, if
I
you
just
if
Oh,
you
good.
if you stop and think about it, we, as in my generation, unfortunately, or actually younger, actually older than my generation, even,
Right.
uh, we've kind of turned a lot of people off from poetry, because what do we
yeah
do with the kids that were in school? We said, okay, it's literature, and this month or this whatever creative writing or whatever class they're doing in English, we're going to delve into poetry, and we're going to dissect and take apart these poems and find out what do the authors really mean and what was going through their head. And by the time they get finished, the kids are like, oh, poetry, oh my gosh. Or we're
Yeah.
going to get into Shakespeare. You
Yeah.
know, you want to
They
read some
don't make
hard
it.
stuff, read some
Yes.
Shakespearean poetry,
For real. They don't make it a practical. It's too bad because it's something to me, it's not, they don't make it practical. It's not something a child can relate to and say, "Oh, I want to do that one day." Most of them are like you said, "Oh, no, I don't think I want to. I'm tired of this. Oh, I'm sick of this."
Yeah, and it kind of taints your opinion. I was fortunate enough that when I was young, I had a creative writing teacher that was just wonderful.
Yes.
And I probably shouldn't admit this but they're not going to go back and take my diploma away from me. Uh, but it was funny. I'll tell you this story because it's fun. I like funny stories. But I,
Me
I
too.
remember, we had to come up with a poem. We had to write a poem for creative writing class, and I made a pretty good amount of pocket change off of that class because I was writing and selling the poems to other students, right?
Yeah.
And I never will
I don't
forget.
blame you.
I never will forget it because the teacher asked me to stay after class, right? And she handed out the grades on our poems that we had turned in, and I'm sitting there going, I got a C minus. Well, I had written all these poems, and all of them were A's, but mine was a C, and I kept the best one for myself.
Oh my
You know?
gosh.
And so
He set himself up for failure. I know exactly where
Yeah.
he's going.
Oh my
And so I
gosh.
came in, and the teacher's talking to me, and it's just, yeah, I don't understand. Why did I get a C minus? And I couldn't say, because I know,
Yeah.
my point was better than that.
You
Uh,
couldn't do that.
and the teacher told me, she says, you're just darn lucky I didn't give you an F, because every poet has their own style. And I saw your style over and over and over again.
She knew it was you. That's a great teacher. That's a great teacher, though, because you're probably like, oh, busted. Does that mean
Right.
she knows? Does that mean she doesn't know? I would have been
Yeah,
thinking, oh,
yeah. And so that year I had to contribute poetry to the yearbook, and they put some of my poems in the yearbook, or else
wow.
I was going to go from a C minus to an F. So, oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay, you can do that.
Wow,
Yeah,
that
sure.
is so cool. Man, well, I for one, in case no one has told you, I'm very impressed with your poems. I think they're beautiful, and I am impressed the way you're going to help people, and I am so thrilled that you're here with us. I don't believe in coincidences. I can't say the word, but I don't believe in them. I believe that you're here because you should be here, and we should be spreading love and spreading kindness and helping people explore their passions. I like that, helping people explore their passions. What are you passionate about?
Well,
Sounds like something.
film, that clip you were talking about that Stephanie did, I got the
Yes.
biggest tickle out of it, because at the very end of it, and that's one of the reasons I sent it to you. Say, oh, you'll get a tickle out of this. Is because at the very end of it, she looks at her daughter and says, "So, what do you think of that?"
I
She goes,
saw
"It's
that.
horrible."
The little girl, she's probably about 3 or 4, said it's horrible, and I was like, oh my god, that from the mouths of babes, because kids don't get it. They're like, oh, that wasn't even good. Oh my gosh, you know what, Paul and Jerry, and I see Nicole's on the side. It's almost that time. It's already 10 after 9. We've had a great time. I hope y'all have had fun tonight, folks. I never want to leave.
One
Go ahead.
more question. I have one more question
Yes.
for Jerry real fast before we
Yes.
end this. Okay, I have your first book, which is one. What was it? Two step
2
forward,
step
one step
forward,
back.
1 step back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you said you have a second one?
No, we well, actually, that's my second one. My first
okay.
one, we just did a self-publishing, and we used to sell them to, spouses, and
Oh, okay. So it's
it
not
was
available.
no, it was a hard copy, and it was really fun. But we used to do like a lot of graduations, military basic training graduations, stuff
Awesome.
like that. Where and had a lot of, like I said, nice poetry. Had a lot of funny poetry in it.
Yeah.
that
I love
really
comedy
enjoyed.
stuff.
And
So they
it
can
had-
go to Amazon also to find your books, right? Your book.
They-
Jerry
they can-
Bradley.
They can go to the one to find 2 steps forward and 1 step back. We didn't
Okay.
we didn't put out on the web the other one
Okay.
electronically. So it was but like the other one had fun stuff in it, like Murphy's laws of the military spouse and stuff like that. It was just a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet that was fun. So I want to tell you what Nicole said. She said, thank you so much. She's getting ready to sing Cosmic Cowboy live in her LA open mic. Well, good luck to you. Thank you so much, Nicole. We really appreciate you coming on. Yeah, we really, really do. You did a great job. We loved your videos, and I know we'll be hearing more from you. Folks, if she gets she's going to post her video on YouTube and send me the link, and I will be posting it on Carolyn's Corner live and on our group. So you can check it out yourself. Make sure you support local singer-songwriters whenever you can, wherever you can, whenever you can. Did I already say whenever? Do it as often as you can. And local authors, and God only knows who else we're going to have coming up. I'm leaving all that up to Paul and Jerry. I do know we have a great surprise guest next week. I would tell them, Jerry, but I think it should be a surprise, don't you?
Yeah. and I think that's great. And I think it's going to be wonderful.
I think so too. I'm really excited. We do have an author.
Yeah, we have that surprise guest that I'm kind of going to be surprised about because I have no idea what's going on.
I'm excited.
And then we have an author that's coming on next week as well. Her name is Danielle Royce. I'm going to go ahead and say it because I don't want to be a surprise.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one too.
I actually went hiking with her husband, and I found out about her because we were hiking.
Oh.
And he said, hey, my wife wrote a book, because I was talking about the podcast and everything.
Yes.
Because my wife wrote a book. And I'm like, really? So I started finding more out about it, and I found out that, she passed away. Yeah. No, she's still alive. but
Okay,
the
okay.
book,
I was gonna say.
okay, I know, I kind of got ahead of myself.
No, I got you now.
She
I
had
got you
she
now.
had she had an abscess on her back. She got an infection, and then she died on the operating table.
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh.
then she came back.
I cannot wait. I love books
And
like
she
that.
wrote a book about her time in heaven.
Oh my gosh. I cannot wait.
I'm reading
I
it right now.
oh boy, you got to share it with me.
You
I
know
read
me,
a book
because I
called
said
90.
that's one of the promises that I made. I said, if we're gonna have guests on here, I'm gonna at least get the Kindle book, at least skim through it, read a bit.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I said I was gonna do, and I've done it so far.
I'm so proud of you. Thank you,
I've got
Paul.
like
Now
5 or
support. I know now you're going to have a big library built up, aren't you, Paul?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
because these are things that like Jerry, like I know he mentioned something about a book before, but this is the first time
Yes.
opportunity I actually had to talk to him about it.
Yes.
And as soon as he said that a book of poetry, Crystal's gonna love it because I got it. She's probably gonna read it because she loves poetry. That's probably the
Yes.
only thing I can really get her to read a lot. So
Yeah. It's going to be
she writes
great.
poetry well. But
It's
yeah,
going to be great. Gosh, I'm excited. And next week, so we have that amazing author. I am so excited to hear that about that book because I love stories about that. I read one called 90 Minutes in Heaven, and I met the author, and I was just, oh, it was such a great book. He was from here locally, and it was such a great. I cannot wait to hear her take. I'm always trying to compare them because I have my own visual of what I think. You know what I mean? I just like, oh, I wonder what she saw. It's so exciting. It's almost like Christmas morning. What did she see? What did she see? So I hate to, gosh, we have 1 minute, guys. We're trying to keep it down to time. But I've had a great night tonight. I hope you all have had a great night. Nicole, thank you so much. Sarah likes poetry too, by the way. You saw it, Sarah. Awesome. Make sure y'all tune in next week. Same bat channel, same bat time, 7:30 Central, right here on Carolyn's Corner Live. And you can reach us so many different ways. I didn't even get to all the new ways.
Yeah.
We're everywhere now, y'all. Whoa, we're everywhere now. I'm telling you. Now we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Spotify. We're everywhere. Y'all are and there is Jerry's book, 2 Steps Forward, 1 Step Back by Jerry Bradley. Make sure you check that out on Amazon. Make sure you check out Paul Gallagher's books on Amazon, PRG Books on Amazon.com. Right, Paul?
yes.
Make sure you go to YouTube and all the music platforms and check out H Nicole Anderson or Harper Nicole Anderson songs. In the meantime, take care of each other. Spread love and joy wherever you can, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. We love you all, and we really do mean that. Take care of yourself. If it's bad today, hold on. It'll get better tomorrow. God bless you. Have a great night, guys.
Bye,
Be
guys.
kind and
Bye.
be safe.
Yes, thank you,
Have a
Paul.
wonderful-
Good night, y'all.